$60.87 every single month for the rest of your life. That's what one late sign-up added to a man's Medicare bill, and nobody ever warned him it was coming. He turned 65, felt fine, and figured Medicare would just start on its own. It didn't. And there's a 7-month window most people find out about 2 months too late, plus one group of still working 65-year-olds who should absolutely not rush in. Both are coming up.
Grace here. Think of it like a house with 4 separate keys, not one front door. That's the first thing people get wrong. Medicare isn't a single thing you sign up for. It's 4 parts, and they don't all work the same way.
I'm Sarah, and for the record, each part even comes from a different place. Part A is your hospital coverage. And here's the good news most people don't expect. If you or your spouse worked about 10 years, 40 quarters in Medicare-covered jobs, Part A costs you nothing. It's already paid for.
Liam here, and here's the part I always tripped on. Part A is free, so I assumed the whole thing was free.
Wrong, and that assumption is expensive. Part B is your doctor and outpatient coverage, and it carries a monthly premium. Skip its window, and you get a penalty that never, ever goes away.
A 7-month window opens around your 65th birthday, and that clock starts everything. The difference between using it and missing it runs into tens of thousands of dollars, and most people never see that bill coming until it's too late to undo.
One relief before we scare anyone off. If you're already collecting Social Security when you turn 65, you don't lift a finger for parts A and B. They enroll you automatically and mail you the card, which is exactly the question we get more than any other, straight from the comments. So let me put it to the room. Am I turning 65 and still working? Do I have to sign up for Medicare or not? Short answer, it depends on your job's coverage, and that one detail decides everything today.
Hold that thought, because the answer has a trap in it. First, let's open the 4 parts and find the one that actually bites.
Start with the shape of the whole thing before we move a single piece, because you can't play what you can't see. 4 parts, and they split into 2 camps.
They fit together more simply than the alphabet suggests. On one side sits Original Medicare, the government program, and that's just Part A and Part B. On the other side are the add-ons that private insurers sell to fill the gaps. Seen that way, the whole thing stops being soup.
Part A first. Hospital stays, skilled nursing, hospice. If you paid Medicare taxes for about 10 years, your premium is 0. You already bought it out of every paycheck.
Part B is the medical side. Doctor visits, outpatient care, lab work, the ambulance. And unlike Part A, Part B has a real bill. The standard premium in 2026 is $202.90 a month, with a yearly deductible of $283 before it starts paying.
Okay, real question, because I know somebody's thinking it. If Part B costs money and Part A is free, why not just take the free one and skip Part B?
Because Part B is the one that bites. Remember the part I said carries a lifetime penalty? This is it. Skip Part B without other real coverage, and every year you wait stacks a permanent surcharge onto that premium.
Wait, permanent? Not just until I catch up?
Permanent. We'll do the exact math next scene. For now, hold on to the word forever because it changes how you treat that window.
Then Part D, prescription drugs. That's a separate private plan you add on. And yes, it has its own late penalty too. 2 doors, 2 clocks.
And Part C is the wild card. Part C, also called Medicare Advantage, is a private plan that bundles A, B, and usually D into one package, often with dental or vision thrown in. Or you keep Original Medicare and buy Medigap, a supplement that pays the gaps Part A and B leave. You pick one lane or the other, never both.
That's the whole board. 4 parts, 2 lanes. Now the part that costs real money if you blink. When? Let me pause for just a second because this genuinely helps. If you are getting value here, hit that like button, then subscribe and ring the bell. It costs you nothing, and it is the single biggest thing that keeps these videos coming.
Three windows open the door to Medicare, and only the first one guarantees you never pay a penalty. For the record, get that timing right, and the rest is just cleanup.
Let me set the board. Sign Up isn't open year-round, so the whole game is landing in the right window. Miss the main one, and your options get worse and more expensive.
The main one is the initial enrollment period. For the record, it's 7 months long. It's the 3 months before the month you turn 65, your birthday month itself, and the 3 months after. 7 months, built around one birthday.
And here's the cheap move now that saves you a headache later. Sign up in those 3 months before your birthday month, not after. Do it early and your coverage starts the day you turn 65, no gap. Here's what the tail end looks like if you wait.
But that community question, the still working 65-year-old, is the one that trips everyone. So I called in someone who knows this timing cold. Marlene, you there?
Right here, and this is the piece that saves people the most money, so listen close. If you or your spouse are still working and you have real health coverage through that job, you do not have to take Part B at 65. You get a special enrollment period. When that job or its coverage ends, an 8-month window opens to sign up for Part B with 0 penalty, so you can delay for years safely as long as the coverage is tied to current work.
Hold on, what about Cobra? Isn't that coverage too?
That's the trap, and it burns people. Cobra is not current employment coverage. Neither is a retiree plan. Lean on either one to delay Part B, and the penalty clock has been running the whole time. Current job, yes. Cobra, no. So that's the one rule I'd tattoo on people. Current job coverage buys you time. Anything else, you sign up on schedule. Thanks for having me on. This is the stuff that quietly keeps money in your pocket.
That's the line then. Real job coverage protects you, Cobra does not. Marlene, thank you.
And if you miss all of that, there's the last resort, the General Enrollment Period, January 1st to March 31st every year. You can still get in, but you may go months uncovered, and the penalty can already be attached. It's the safety net, not the plan.
So let's put an actual number on that penalty, because forever is an abstract word until you see it on a bill.
The penalty rule is brutal in how simple it is. For Part B, your premium climbs 10% for every full year you could have signed up and didn't. You pay that higher amount the entire time you have Part B.
So it's not a one-time fine. It rides your bill. Let me count that out loud because that's the part that scares me.
Let's run a real one. Start with the standard 2026 premium, $202.90 a month. Now say someone waited 3 full years with no other coverage. That's 3 times 10%, 30% added on top. 30% of that premium is $60.87.
So the new premium is $263.77 every month for the rest of their life. Same coverage as the person who signed up on time, just with a lifelong surcharge bolted on.
It's the oldest lesson on a chessboard. Cheap move now beats the flashy move later, 2 moves ahead. A stamp and an afternoon at 65 versus tens of thousands over a retirement. It isn't close.
Part D has its own version, and it's sneakier. The drug penalty is 1% of a national base number, $38.99 in 2026, for every month you went without drug coverage. It's small per month, but it also sticks for good and grows as that base number rises.
So both penalties basically punish waiting forever. Read that back to me slower, because I want to make sure I've got the fix.
The fix is the whole point. Sign up in your window or use a special enrollment period if a job is covering you. Do that, and every dollar of this penalty is simply 0. It only exists for people who wait without a good reason.
Now the fork that actually takes some thinking. Once you're in on time, which lane do you pick?
So here's the real fork, and it's the one viewers argue about in the comments every week. Once you have Part A and B, do you add Medigap and a drug plan, or do you switch to Medicare Advantage? Sarah takes Original Medicare plus Medigap. Grace makes the case for Advantage. I'll follow the money and keep both honest. Sarah, open.
The exact page on Medicare.gov says it plainly. Original Medicare lets you see any doctor or hospital in the country that takes Medicare. No networks, no referrals. Add a Medigap policy and it pays most of what A and B leave behind, so your bills get predictable. If you travel or you want your own specialists, that freedom is the whole ball game.
Freedom you pay a premium for, though. Think of it like buying first class every flight when you fly twice a year. Medicare Advantage bundles your hospital, medical, and drugs into one plan, usually for a low or even zero monthly premium. And it throws in dental, vision, and hearing that Original Medicare just doesn't cover. For a lot of people on a fixed income, that lower upfront cost is decisive.
Grace, follow the money for me. If the premium is zero, who gets paid, and where does the catch hide?
Fair question, and I won't dodge it. The plan is paid by Medicare to manage your care, so the catch is the network and the approvals. You stay in their doctor list, and some services need the plan to say yes first. The trade is real, lower cost for less freedom.
And that catch shows up on your worst day, not your best. The year you get seriously sick is the year the network and the prior authorizations bite hardest. That's when people try to switch back to Medigap. And here's the part nobody likes. Depending on your state, they can medically underwrite you and turn you down.
Hold on. That's the scary version, not the whole one. That switchback risk is genuine, and I won't pretend otherwise. If your health is shaky, Advantage is a heavier bet. But for a healthy 65-year-old watching every dollar, paying a Medigap premium for years of coverage you may not use is its own kind of waste.
Sarah, pin it down. Name the one person who should absolutely not be on Advantage.
Anyone with a serious ongoing condition, or anyone who splits the year between two states. Networks and travel don't mix. For them, Original-plus-Medigap isn't the pricey option, it's the safe one.
And I'd add the frequent traveler to that list myself.
Then here's my verdict, and it follows straight from Medicare's own comparison page. There's no single winner. There's a right fit. If you're healthy, budget tight, and stay near home, Advantage can be a smart, cheaper bet. If you travel, want any doctor, or already manage a real condition, pay for Original-plus-Medigap, and buy the freedom while you can still get it without underwriting. Match the plan to your life, not to the lowest sticker price. One more scene, and it's the easy one. How you actually sign up. After all that, the actual sign up is refreshingly simple. Let's walk the exact path so you know where to click and who to call.
Think of it as a short checklist in order so nothing gets skipped. 4 steps, and the first one you might not even need.
Step 1. If you're already drawing Social Security, you're done for A and B. The card just arrives. For everyone else, and this surprises people, you don't sign up with Medicare for the core parts. You sign up through Social Security.
Wait, Social Security, not Medicare? Am I close if I say that's the part everyone gets backwards?
You're exactly right, and it's the /1 mix-up. For Part A and Part B, you go to Social Security. Here's the actual page, and here's the button.
Go to ssa.gov/Medicare, or call Social Security, or walk into a local office. Then, and only then, you go to Medicare.gov to add a Part D drug plan, and to shop Medigap or Advantage. 2 sites, 2 jobs. Social Security enrolls you. Medicare.gov is where you shop the add-ons.
One last curveball for higher earners because it catches people off guard. It's called IRMAA.
IRMAA is an income surcharge. In 2026, if your income on your 2024 tax return was over $109,000 single or $218,000 married, you pay more for both Part B and Part D. Same coverage, higher premium, based on income from 2 years back.
So a good year 2 years ago can raise this year's bill?
Exactly, and if your income has since dropped, you can ask Social Security to reconsider it. But for most people, IRMAA never applies. Get in on time, sign up in the right place, and you're set. That's the whole game, the timing, not the paperwork. So here's the whole thing in one breath. Medicare is 4 parts. Your 7-month window opens around your 65th birthday, and the late penalty on Part B is permanent unless a working job is covering you.
Next time we take the fork, we only tease today and go deep on it. Medigap Plan G versus a zero premium Advantage plan, run through a real hospital bill, dollar for dollar. It gets uncomfortable in the best way.
Your one move this week, if you or a parent is anywhere near 65, mark the 3 months before that birthday on a calendar tonight. We moise divorcive future of TOC wijzes frej wijzeger BA to ever versus.
My favorite fact today, and I'll say it once more for the record, the entire penalty is optional. It only ever hits people who waited without a reason.
If this cleared up even one part of the maze, do us a real favor and hit like, then subscribe so we can keep building this benefits guide out for you. And here's the one I want you to answer down in the comments. Are you signing up on time, or are you the still working 65-year-old planning to wait on that special enrollment period? Tell us where you land. This is Caroline. Thanks for watching and signing off.